This is the thing. Who you choose to hang around with, who you choose to have in your posse, is exactly who you become. Choose your posse wisely. I'm here to tell you that putting yourself first is not selfish, it's revolutionary. Welcome to the Woman Warrior Podcast, empowering women to light their lives on fire through Ayurveda, yoga, spirituality, and fitness. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Satyavani, and I'm here along with my partner, Prajna Madhavi, and we want to welcome you to the Trainerize app, our branded app. This app has two beautiful functions that we want to share with you to get your health moving in a woman warrior direction.
So the first component is the fitness workout side, which is fabulous. With this app, trainers can give you a personalized experience based on your fitness goals, our dosha assessment, and fitness level. The app has phenomenal access to videos for each exercise so that there is very little confusion. There's also messaging capabilities so that trainers can continually keep in contact with you as you move further into your fitness journey.
The second component is the nutrition piece, because you cannot out-train a bad diet. After the initial assessment is taken, trainers can align your doshic diet to your specific exercise regimen, which means that eating more of what you need and less of what you don't. The recipes are then posted in the app where you can choose meals based on time, ingredients, and taste. And you can always refresh the menu if needed because you prefer something different.
So with these two components, along with our Ayurvedic assessment, we'll give you a unique and individualized experience that you most likely cannot find anywhere else.
I would agree with that. Mm-hmm. By using our personalized app, you'll gain knowledge of what your body needs and be on the road to becoming your best and brightest self. Welcome to our app. Jai Bhagwan, Women Warriors, and welcome to the Woman Warrior Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Satyavani, and with me is always my favorite co-host,
Prajna Madhavi. Hi, everybody.
There she is. Mm-hmm. I like how I said favorite, my only co-host.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Awesome. Today, we are going to talk about intuitive fitness. Mm-hmm. So we have been talking about over the past year all of the koshic levels, and we have now gone into our intuition kosha, the Vijnanamaya kosha. And for those of you that are tuning in for the first time to this podcast, we're weird and we say weird Sanskrit terms. So just keep with it, and we try to explain what those terms mean over the course of time. So you will absolutely catch on. But I do want to back up and say a lot of people don't know what Jai Bhagwan means and why, I say that at the beginning and at the end, and how sometimes we say it throughout the podcast. So Jai Bhagwan is actually, it's a Sanskrit greeting, and it means may your soul be victorious. And so a lot of yoga peeps will say the word namaste, meaning the soulful light in me recognizes the soulful light in you. And Jai Bhagwan is very similar in nature, but it's a greeting, and it is also a goodbye. And it comes from southern India, specifically in Gujarat, and it is the greeting of our lineage. So, and the reason why we say Jai Bhagwan, may your soul be victorious, is because that's the part that we're rooting for. Our physical bodies will inevitably die no matter how much we talk about fitness, nutrition, supplementation, all of those things on this podcast, and how you can maintain a vibrant and healthy body. But at the end of the day, we all know that we are all going to die. So Jai Bhagwan is an acknowledgement that we hope that the soul is victorious for you, because that's the part of us that lives on. So I just wanted to put that out there, because I think we do this greeting and we're getting more and more people listening to our podcast, and they're like, I don't know what that means. So clarification.
Smart.
All right. But again, we are talking about intuitive fitness today, and really tapping into the knowing part of yourself and what is good for your body from a fitness standpoint. So, but before that, we have announcements, don't we?
Yes.
All right, girl, give it to us. What are the announcements?
So announcements that I listed here is, first of all, thank you to everyone who has subscribed. I believe we were up to 169 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you to everyone who has answered the call and has subscribed. It is, no fault of Satyavani and I have definitely been spreading the word to everyone that we know that listens. Like, make sure that you click on the YouTube subscribe button as well. So
we need 31 more to hit 200.
31 more. We're
Let's
really
do it.
trying for that 200. So if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, please do. And thank you to everyone who has. The next thing is we have a bunch of Fit Body Bootcamp coaches and a few members as well are going to be participating in the Boise Spartan, which is on August 10th on a Sunday. We chose to do the super with everybody. So
because we're super.
Mm-hmm. And that is basically we are a no team member left behind kind of situation. So it's definitely not for time. It's just for enjoying everyone's company and doing something together that we all enjoy and testing ourselves, testing our boundaries. And so
doing hard things.
Yeah. So that is coming up on August 10th. Trainerize and Circle. Again, there's a difference between the two. We've got Trainerize, which is the fitness nutrition side. So if you're looking more of the fitness and nutrition part of what we do at the Woman Warrior Academy, go online, go to our website, check out the Trainerize app. Or we'll talk about the Trainerize app and the fact that once you download the app, you can then start looking at the fitness and nutrition side. And then Circle is something separate from the nutrition and fitness. Circle is the more education side. So if you're looking at, okay, now I have the fitness, I have the nutrition, but I also want to look at kind of why I'm doing this, why am I having the issues that I'm having? That's where the education piece comes in of the big questions of who am I? What is my purpose? How do I spread that purpose throughout the world? So those are all the big questions that we get to dive a little bit deeper into in Circle. Mm-hmm. And there's many options in Circle where you have the free option and then it goes from there. So get in there and check that out as well.
I think what's important about, and I so appreciate you weekly, like denoting what the differences are, because a lot of people are like, well, are you a personal trainer? It's like, well, we kind of do a lot of different things. And I think what's very unique about what it is that we're doing is even on the Trainerize side, the fitness component, the nutrition component is all coming from this map of the Vedic sciences, which is very different. And, that whole idea of understanding what your constitution is as a core principle is really important so that we can then map those things, the nutrition and the training accordingly, so that we know how to best support you on those things, because we're not a one size fits all.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work that way. But it's also important, like you said, to understand the why. Like, where does all of this come from? Like, is this just, the latest craze, et cetera? But rather, it comes from 5,000 years of history and knowledge and data that has been present throughout the ages. And I think it's really important for people to understand where that comes from, that this wasn't just something that was plucked out of the air. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And then we have Hybrid Camp. We are on week 4 of 5 of Hybrid Camp this weekend, and we have just been increasing numbers every single week.
Oh my God, last week was crazy.
A little bit of a zoo, but what do we do with 32 people here? What do we have them all do? But that's, it's been fun to come up with ideas on how to make that different, and it's been fun.
And we have a special one coming up that you designed pretty magically. So I'm excited.
We'll see how it goes.
Yep. So if you're in the Boise area and you want to come to Hybrid Camp, come.
Well, yeah. And you got to sign up early because we only have 40 spots. So
40 spots. So
yeah, they're cutting it off at 40.
Yeah.
So
we're cutting it off at 40.
Yeah. We can't really take more than 40 people. There's only 2 of us.
Yes.
So. And then home gym, the fact that we are building out our own gym that we can then potentially have people train out of.
Yep.
So that's been fun to find pieces and parts.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about our rowing machine.
Yeah, I've been using it every day.
I know. I gotta hop the fence. I'm gonna come in the middle of the night. I'm just gonna pull up the garage door.
Yeah, get on that damn assault bike for 12.5 calories, and
Ooh.
then I do 500 meters on the row.
And we also thank you, Katie Packwood, who is part of our BNI group, and who also does biofeedback So you should definitely check her out here in Eagle. And she gave us this whole O2 training system.
Yeah.
Where you fully oxygenate the blood while doing some intensive cardio drills, which was like, woo, felt a little stoned
Yeah.
on that assault bike.
Ooh, I need to do that.
Yeah,
a couple more times before I get used to that.
that was kind of fun though. It was just fascinating to see. So we have that option that is going to come online as we kind of build out the gym and all that good stuff. So.
So a lot of exciting things.
Yes.
Yeah.
You look thrilled. All good times. So, you know what, let's go through this wellness check-in, but I do want to, again, for people who are joining this podcast newly, they might not really understand like why we do this wellness check-in. So do you want to explain why we do the wellness check-in?
Yeah, so the wellness check-in, it's especially this year since we're talking about the 5 koshic layers. So Ayurveda has the 5 koshas, and so there's the physical body, there's the energetic body, there's the mental emotional, there's the intuitive, and then there's the spiritual. So we try to incorporate that every single time we do a podcast, and using ourselves as an example, because we're always looking through this lens in our lives through these 5 koshic layers. And so it's really good, I think, for people to have us go through this and see the examples and hear the examples.
Right.
Yeah.
And understand that like we're totally human and normal, and that when you look at yourself from this 5 lens perspective, that you realize that not only is there so much more depth to you, but you understand the integration between all of these things, that what happens to me in my physical body is actually a manifestation of what has happened on the mental emotional side of life, or the energetic side of life, and how all of those things can either wind up manifesting themselves in balances or imbalances. So I think it's just important to clarify that and why we do these things, and also so it gives people an opportunity to understand who we are as podcasters, and clinicians and all that good stuff. So you know, I'm turning this around this week.
Okay.
All right. I want to find out how you're doing. Give us the check-in, because girl, there's a lot. This has been all about Praj the past couple of weeks. I'm excited.
Yeah. So wellness check-in. I mean, currently physically right now, I'm tired. It's been hard to go to sleep, not because I'm not tired. Just my brain does not want to shut off lately. A couple nights ago, I was thinking of the hybrid camp stuff of like, oh my gosh, we could do this. And I need to not forget this. And so I need to maybe keep a scratch notepad by my bed so I can just write it down and leave it. Because I was thinking about, we could do that many of those and that many of those and put those in the boxes. Yeah. So if you want to find out what that is, come to hybrid camp. And then, so I've been thinking about that, and then just everything that's going on with the business, new people coming on as clients. Yeah. And I'm starting to go to the other B&I chapters. And so thinking about, okay, what am I going to say there? And what's that going to be like? Because in my Vata brain, I like to leap forward in time and think about all the possibilities of what could happen before I actually get there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Right. So that's what I like.
How's that working for you?
It's wearing me out. It's like my brain would just stop running all the time. Maybe I wouldn't be quite so tired. And my garden's going crazy right now. So it looks amazing. Anytime that I have open, I'm like, well, I should do this in my garden. So I was, in the heat of the day, I'm pulling weeds yesterday, trying to get rid of, weeds so I can let my cucumbers grow and my zucchini grow. And
how are those growing?
Now they have some space. Nice. Like my cucumbers are going to come on.
When do cucumbers and zucchini come out? Like what time of year?
It's about 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. Like we're here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're flowering right now, and then some of the squash is already starting to form.
Nice.
So yeah, they'll be ready in a couple weeks. So yeah, don't worry, I'll give Michael some cucumbers.
He loves cucumbers.
And I pulled all my peas out because they're done, and I have all these flowers just growing everywhere. So it's it's a lot this time of year.
It is.
And I even reduced it down from previous years. And so just that sort of obligation of feeling like, I don't want to let any of those plums go to waste, so I better pick them all kind of thing.
All of them. And there's a
So,
lot.
There's a lot.
Dude, our plum tree in front, like, well, you saw it. It's like casualties.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they just drop all day long. And it's like, I'm going to get them or I'm not going to get them. But, like, I literally was, like, picking them from the tree and just eating them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the squirrels get to.
Your
a few of
plums
them.
taste different than mine. Mine are a little bit more tart.
Mm-hmm.
Yours are sweeter.
Yeah. Mine are definitely sweeter.
Oh, they're nice.
Yeah. They're good.
They're really good.
Yeah. When people are like, well, I have plums, I'm like, you don't have my plums.
No.
My plums are actual plum tree.
Right.
It's not the tart plums. Like,
Yeah.
They're good.
It's ours. I think is like a legit plum tree. It's just they were smaller and they were more tart, which I welcomed. I mean, it was very nice. I enjoyed them. But I had yours the other day. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this
They're
is
good.
different. Oh, they're good.
Yeah. Well, I got more. So come on over.
I will.
And so that all of that kind of physically wears me out a little bit. So then energetically, again, still very excited with what I'm doing. And I'm super excited that I don't have to go back to school in a couple weeks. I'm very energetic about that. I don't have that hanging over me. That, all these things are great. I did have one of my clients very wisely say today that if she's like, are you scheduling time? Are you making time for yourself? Because she said it's very easy in what you do now to just say yes to everything. And you fill up your schedule with all of these things and you have no time for yourself. So I was like, okay, that's.
You have to tell me who the client is so I can
very
send them a
wise.
thank you card.
Yeah.
I love that.
So thank you, Margaret.
I love that, Margaret.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. So she's very lovely, and it was very kind of her to bring that up. And I was like, yeah, those are very wise words. So listen to your elders. And so that, thinking about that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to really make sure that I carve that out. So energetically, I mean, even though I'm physically tired, my energy is still pretty high, which is why I find it hard to still fall asleep, even though I'm physically tired.
Yeah.
Mentally, emotionally, you laugh. Feeling very, very grounded and calm and very secure in my mental emotional state right now. So
Very nice. What would that have to do with?
well, as I've talked about many weeks, the dating world has been a fun one, and it's finally come to a point where I think it's starting to calm down and leading in a good new direction. So
I love that.
yeah, so yeah, that's exciting, and then also at the same time, it's mentally and emotionally draining at some points, but yeah, so that's been nice.
You deserve nothing but the best.
Thank you.
And so does all the other women and gentlemen who are daring to listen to this podcast out there. You deserve nothing but the best, and do not settle. Do not.
Yeah.
Do not.
Yeah. And then intuitively, so that actually has a lot to do with my mental emotional is just really, it's actually kind of going back to the intuition that I think I had originally that,
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. That I probably should have listened to a little bit more, but my mind,
You got there.
yeah, put it in a different direction. And thankfully it just, took some time.
But I also
figured
think
it out.
if I can interject kindly about this, without revealing details or names, because that's not my story to tell. But I also think it's the power of Vijnana Maya Kosha from a universal standpoint. Like the universe, when it knows what's in your heart, will help literally move mountains.
Yeah.
And sometimes those mountains are like, God, I'm just getting beat up, like I'm getting smacked in the face, because we think in our minds, in the ego mind, which I know we're going to talk about a little bit here today,
Yeah.
that we know what we want. And sometimes what's in our heart, which is our real seat of consciousness, knows better.
Yeah.
And so the universe is like, nah, I'm going to go with that consciousness instead of that ego mind. And then we feel like the odds are stacked against us until finally it's like, oh, this is the big reveal. Like this is what I'm being set up for, something even better.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And then spiritually, I still got to work on that one. And just right now, it's,
Yeah.
Um,
Sometimes it's just day to day, down and dirty.
mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. And I think that is maybe the making more time for myself. And again, still tapping into what some scars come up and being very honest and authentic about some scars that I'm working through and dealing with. And being very honest with others about that as well.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Yeah. So that's me. What about you?
Oh, girl. Physically, I feel great. I'm going to give another shout out to Dr. Kelly Mix of Stork Spinal Care here in Garden City. She is part of our BNI group. And I had my first adjustment with her on Monday, and it was a game changer, like a game changer. So for those that might be new to tuning in to this, and I apologize for those that have heard, this brief story before, but I have suffered a lot of physical injuries as a result of a bicycle accident a million years ago, and also just when you're an athlete, things happen, and as a result of that, this was the thing I didn't share with you that was absolutely amazing. So Dr. Mix, excuse me, her husband is Stork, she's Mix. She specializes in working with a small adjustment, which you don't even feel, for the record, of the atlas bone in the head, and which releases a whole neurological effect so that the body can heal itself on its own naturally. So she's not one of those like crack and popper kind of chiropractors, although I'm sure she knows how to do that. I actually never really asked. But anyway, that small physical adjustment she did with my atlas bone just took like the pressure that builds up in those various parts of my body, like my sacrum and my shoulder and my neck and all of those kinds of things that, and I had said to her at our appointment on Monday, you just kind of get used to living with that stuff, and then all of a sudden it releases and you're like, oh, this is what this is supposed to feel like. So had my first adjustment and it was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Like, and as a result this week, like my movements are better. My lifts are better. Like they're just smoother. I feel like I can get more into mobility, without those limitations. So I want to give a heartfelt shout out to Dr. Kelly Mix, and thank you so much for taking on this case. The thing that was so interesting is the first appointment I had with her, I went in for an assessment. She takes x-rays, to find out like kind of what's going on before you start your adjustments and your course of treatment. And so she took the x-rays, and then we go over them at the second appointment before the adjustments happen. And the thing that was absolutely amazing to me, which I did not anticipate at all, is she goes, "You actually have no arthritis." I couldn't believe that, because I just assumed that all of the lockup in my shoulder and my neck and everything like that. Now she didn't take x-rays of my low spine or anything like that, but this was just the head and the neck. And then she's like, "You don't have any arthritis." I was like, "What? How is that even possible?" So I was like, "Yay, winning." So no arthritis, which as a result of that physical adjustment, not only have my lifts been better and my my kind of cardio have been better, but energetically, I feel so uplifted. It's really interesting that when you're dealing with injuries and just sort of, chronic pain in certain areas, that weighs on your energetic body. And,
I have so many miserable people walking around this earth.
Everybody on the planet needs to go and see Dr. Kelly Mix.
Just need to get healthy.
Exactly. And
just millions of people are just walking around just pissed off because they don't feel well.
Right. That is exactly
Do something to feel well.
Absolutely.
Do something to fix it. Don't just not feel good.
Right.
All the time.
Right. And we do that. I mean, we see Jesse Kohea for our massage, a couple times a month. And, we're obviously doing all of the things in terms of...
eat well. We exercise. We
drink water, supplements, etc. And so adding this piece was absolutely amazing.
It's not rocket science.
No. And the thing that I was thinking about also from an energetic standpoint, which goes into the mental emotional, is we have so many people, because you bring up a great point, so many people are walking around not feeling well, and that's why they're energetically, declined, they're,
Angry, pissed off,
exactly, like
depressed.
all of these things. And yet people will complain about spending money on that. Like, oh, well, I have health insurance. Well, guess what? Your health insurance isn't doing shit for you, okay? No. You have to think outside of the box, and you have to go to people who have specialties in certain things to get what it is that you need so that you can feel and be healthy. And that was just like the floodgates just kind of opened up because, as you know, like I don't have health insurance. Like I am my own health insurance. I will not buy into that system. And as a result of that, being able to find people who specialize in these things, and they will meet you where it is that you are. So that whole well, my health insurance will cover this, that whole loop that everybody is in the United States. That's why people are walking around sick, healthy, angry, pissed off, depressed, all of those kinds of things. Versus get outside of the box and go and take care of your shit because nobody else is going to do it for you. And so energetically, it's just I feel like blood flow better and respiration better. And I am so excited about my course of treatment. And I told her that I wanted to document all of this, over the course from jump to see, how this all plays out. And then I was saying to Katie Packwood that after I get through this process or, midway, I want to go and get, the biofeedback done to see what that's like as well. So,
yeah.
So Katie Packwood, I'm coming for you.
You haven't had biofeedback done before?
It's
just been a while.
It's been a really, really long time.
Gotcha.
Like decades, So I'm excited about that. And that I literally feel from an intuitive standpoint, like everything is coming in alignment. There's all of these amazing things that are happening. And, we're talking with, various people about the podcast and, new clients are coming on board and old shifts of things that, aren't in alignment anymore, are happening and all of that good stuff. So intuitively, it's I feel super on point. And we're going with our gut on a lot of things and, it's working out amidst Mercury retrograde.
Yeah.
So, and then spiritually, I feel pranic energy just flowing through me. I really feel, the Jai Bhagwan, that everything is moving in the right direction. I couldn't be happier with what it is that we're doing. I couldn't be happier with our clients, with our mission and all of that. And so I feel very spiritually connected. I've been talking to my dad a lot lately, on the other side. I feel like he's giving me some really good guidance. And that's been great. I do want to get back into a deeper meditation practice. And now that Michael has come home after his journey.
You're clean. You're fed.
I'm clean and fed.
You have time.
No, literally, today when I came home and he had breakfast made for me, Michael, I love you so much.
Must be nice.
I know. You know what? It is. You know what? And I'm not going to apologize for it because
as you should.
Because my husband is an amazing
Michael,
human.
you're wonderful.
He's an amazing human, and I am.
You can cook breakfast for me any day.
Any day of the week, twice on Sunday. And it's just great. It's just great. So, and I'm glad he's back in the home, and kiddies are happy, and we all feel like okay, it's complete. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
Good stuff. All right. Intuition and fitness.
Well, you kind of brought up, as you were talking about the whole Atlas adjustment, I was thinking about this statement that I made with intuition and fitness. I wrote down the health that we currently have did not happen overnight. It's a series of responses to our intuition, whether listening or ignoring. And so I was thinking about sort of like those Atlas adjustments. They're so subtle and so small, but have such a huge impact on the rest of your life. And that really is kind of like your intuition, to where your intuition is those little tiny subtle things that when you listen to it, when it's adjusted, when it's in alignment, creates a huge, a huge shift.
Download.
Download in your whole life. So
that's fucking brilliant. I love that. Look at you. Look at you. The health that we currently have did not happen overnight. I think that is an incredibly important statement. You know, I was thinking about this as I was driving over here to the studio, that, and I actually had this conversation with the two folks who manage Planet Fitness, where we are, and talking about like how your health is, and your physical body and how it feels, et cetera, is a series of consistent events. It is, I always tell clients this, it's reps and math. You have to put in the repetitions, and you have to do the calculations, whether it is tracking macros, tracking, you know, the amount of weight lifted, the amount of minutes put in for cardio, and, you know, metabolic health, and all those kinds of things. But it's reps and math, because the body that you're trying to move away from did not happen overnight. So the expectation that it's going to change overnight is ridiculous. So I want to say to all the peeps out there, it doesn't matter where you're starting. It does not matter. I actually had somebody, you know, approach me today that says, I'm really, really, really out of shape. She's like, I'm embarrassed about how out of shape I am. And I'm like, great. Like, that's a great place to start. Let's start there. So move away from that. Move away from the embarrassment piece of it. Understand that it didn't happen overnight, and how it happened. Okay, there's a story around that for sure. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter.
Really doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter either. So where are you today? And know that this is the long haul. This is years of repetitions in math. Years. And I think that is something that has to be reinforced all the time, because I think people are like, oh, in 6 weeks, I'm going to have, you know, a beach body. No, you're not. You're not. It's going to take you multiple years, and actually you should be training for your old lady body, not your beach body, because when you fall, you want to be able to get back up. You want to be able to carry groceries from your car. You want to be able to lift things off of a high shelf. Like, that's why we do what it is that we do.
Yeah.
Other thoughts on that?
Just the idea that now with GLP-1s coming into society, like listen to your intuition on those as well.
Yes.
Don't just do it because society says you should, or that you see it on, you know, Instagram or whoever else is using it. Really listen to your intuition, because again, the health you currently have didn't happen overnight, and trying to fix it overnight with a GLP-1 comes with a lot of side effects. And you know, those are also little decisions that are going to add up into, whether it be sarcopenia, whether it be the loss of muscle, whether it be once you stop, you gain all the way back. Like, you know,
muscle loss.
Yeah, that's the inconsistent or the non-consistent road, is to just take something like that. And sadly, when you're not consistent with a lifestyle change, it's not going to be a consistent result. So
there's no way it can be consistent. And
I'm not saying the GLP-1s are for no one. I mean,
Right.
they have a place.
They have a place
for certain individuals, but
but the widespread use
is
insane.
It's out of control.
It is completely out of control. And I think a lot of people go into that, just as an example, going against their intuition. You know, look, we all know what to do.
People just don't want to do it. Yeah. You know what you need to do.
Right.
You just don't want to do it.
Then you know what you have to do. Fucking do it. Okay? And no, it's not going to be pretty. And there are going to be days when you're in the gym, or you're at the yoga studio, or you're, you know, with your trainer, where you're going to cry and you're going to be like, this sucks. This is hard. All of those things. And guess what? You will get past it. You know what to do. Fucking do it.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Well, it is hard. It is actually really hard.
Yes. It is. Yes. Okay.
Simple.
Thank
not
you.
easy.
Okay. Simple, not easy. I appreciate that clarification. Yes.
Yeah.
Simple, not easy. And
because if it wasn't hard, a lot of
everybody
people
would be doing it. So it is simple. It was kind of like in our BNI meeting today when we have to do our little commercial. And I was like, stop drinking alcohol, drink a gallon of water a day, lift weights, don't eat like a fucking trash panda, and get sleep.
Yeah.
Do those things. Do those 5 things consistently for a year. And intuitively, everything falls into place. Intuitively, you know that's what you have to do. It's not hard.
And we make excuses to, I think, in a way, tell other people how much harder it is for us.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's why the excuses come up.
Oh, yeah.
Like, well, this is why I didn't do it, because my life is harder than,
Right.
like, okay, yeah.
The great Holly Kerrigan calls it the oppression Olympics.
Yeah. And we all do that from time to time. Like, well, okay, well, I don't have breakfast made for me by my significant other every morning.
True.
So
You don't.
woe is me. Like, okay. Wah. I can make fun of that, but at the same time, it's like, all right, doesn't mean I don't eat breakfast. Just got to fix it myself. So, yeah, I don't know.
What about your experiences? Like, okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
let's
With intuition.
circle back with
Fitness.
intuition and fitness, okay?
Yeah.
From an Ayurvedic perspective, intuitively every body constitution has strengths and it also has, I don't want to use the word weaknesses because I think that's kind of lame,
Challenges.
but challenges. There's challenges that we need to be aware of. And intuition is the space for that awareness to be present.
Yeah.
So once we have that awareness, we go against it a lot because we have this ego mind, or what is known in Sanskrit as the ahamkara, that wants to hijack the intuition. And so in your experience, talk a little bit about what you intuitively know to be right and how you allowed the hijacking to happen. Because, like, girl, I got a laundry list of how many times that's happened to me. So it's,
So mine, I would say, starts with my thanks to my mom for actually having really good intuition back when I was like 14, 15, 16. I was having some knee pain. I think I was playing basketball at the time. And I was like,
that young.
Yeah, 16.
Okay.
Just starting out, really, pounding the court through basketball. And just my knee was starting to really bother me. And I'm like, well, I'm only 16. Like, that seems pretty young. And went to the doctor. I don't even know if they took x-rays. Maybe. I don't remember. But long story short, they basically said, you have a patella tracking issue. Like, it's going to keep getting worse to where like it's going to hurt to go upstairs. And like, we should probably do surgery on both of your knees now.
At 14?
Yeah, like 15 or 16. Yeah. Oh. And
happened on my back. So yeah.
Yeah. So, my mom, I think intuitively was like, we're not going to have surgery for her. She's 15 years old. Like, she's like, what are other options? Like, that can't be the only option. They're like, well, then you just need to make sure that you stay strong and, you lift and you create muscles around that knee and stabilize it. And so my mom was like, okay, well, that's what she's going to do then. So
did you go to PT at that point?
No.
Okay.
I think it was just kind of a general practitioner that just told me that. And, he could either refer me to a surgeon or
not
send me on my way, and sent me on my way. And, yeah, I mean, I saw the trainer a few times during the year when it was sore, but otherwise I lifted pretty much until I was in my 30s, to where, I played sports, played volleyball all through college, played ultimate frisbee. Ultimate frisbee is definitely hard on joints as a vata. You're in, cleats on really hard ground. Yeah, it's not it's not an old person sport. And you see a lot of injuries.
Old person being 25 and above.
Yeah, you see a lot of injuries. And so my body was just really starting to break down at that point in time.
I was thinking about the ultimate frisbee. What's going on behind that bush?
Yeah. Rub a little weed on it. Yeah, it's definitely started out as a hippie sport for sure. And yeah. And so maybe that was to numb some of your joints. I don't know. Just numb the feeling of how this hurts. And being a vata, knowing that, I was always going to have this issue, I got an x-ray and you don't have much cartilage in one knee. Okay. Just keep it strong. And, eventually you'll probably have to have some sort of surgery
or not.
Yeah. Or not.
And that was at what age at that point?
That was 2011 is when I got that x-ray and was told, you have very little cartilage. So that would have been late 30s. No, early 30s.
Okay.
And so then I had a friend tell me about yoga, and he's like, this actually helps mobility. So I was like, oh, sweet. So then I fell in love with yoga, did that for about 5 years and stopped lifting whatsoever. And had no knee pain, felt great there for a while. And then, eventually yoga is not really enough. Yes, it's good on the joints because you're not really, pounding yourself into the ground. And at the same time, you're also not building a whole lot of muscle in your body.
Right.
So that was about the same time also, about 3 years into my yoga journey was when I started to become a vegan as well. I started out with the elimination diet just to figure out why my gut was kind of not feeling so good, my thyroid issues that I was having. So get gluten out, get dairy, and figure out what other inflammatory foods there were. So did that, and I was like, oh, I feel so much better. Veganism is the way to go. And so that lasted about 2, maybe 3 years.
3 years.
And then, and this was all, to tie it back into the intuition. It was all really kind of that intuition that was like, okay, what is happening is not really working. Like where's my intuition as to where I should go next? And I think with all of these things, I probably waited a little bit too long. That maybe I should have listened to my intuition a little bit sooner. Like especially with Ultimate Frisbee, like probably played longer than I should have.
And you should have, yeah.
Ran way more than longer than I should have.
Yep.
Because my ego felt like I could. And so, and then the veganism, I felt so good. I'm just going to stick with this. And then over time, just my body started to really break down and just not feel well.
Right.
Got really thin and, as you know, got really thin and just kind of felt weak. And so just really noticed that I need to get back in the gym.
Yeah.
I need to eat more protein and I need to have better sources of protein. And yeah, so those were all things that, again, intuition, I think probably, I just waited a little too long to listen to my intuition.
But intuitively, you eventually did get there.
I did, eventually.
Yeah. And I think that there's also these, subtle messages that we receive. Like if you're really paying attention, and I think with intuitive fitness specifically, you really have to pay attention to what is going on in your body. You have to know your body. And I think that is an underrated situation. We're so disembodied in society because everything is pulling us out of that, pulling us out of being engaged with what's going on in this vehicle. It's either we're living in here or we're living out there. We're not living within the temple.
Yeah.
And you really have to, because inside the temple, it can be scary. It's, then like we have to start answering those big questions like, well, who am I? And what is my purpose here? And what is it that I want to put into the world as a result of that? And that requires a lot of very hard self-study, svadhyaya, a lot of very hard self-study, where we have to answer those questions and we have to really understand all of the subtleties that happen, inside of our physical selves so that we can make appropriate decisions. How long do you think it took for you to get some subtle messages, from a physical standpoint? Like, did you know right away that 14, that's young, but did you know when you were in college, you're like, oh God, Ultimate Frisbee, I got to let this one go, or, volleyball, and was there a battle?
Yeah. Volleyball felt good for a while. I would say the Ultimate Frisbee was probably the best example where I just constantly had pain on the outside of my knee.
Yeah.
Just to the point where I was like, well, I think it's, maybe it's just muscular. No, I knew it wasn't muscular. I knew there was something else going on, which led me to go get the x-rays. And then once he said, well, this is pretty young to have this little cartilage. So you really probably shouldn't be running on it. And then I proceeded to run for another, I don't know, 10 years after that. Like, yeah, whatever.
Yep.
I'm still going to run.
Mm-hmm.
And my knee's going to swell up and it's going to be painful for a few days and then it'll get better.
Right.
And yeah.
And then the recovery just becomes longer.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does.
Where it's not a few days now, it's a whole week, and then it becomes a week and a half, and then you start walking around with chronic pain and all of that.
Yep.
And that was a very similar situation. I actually think that intuitively I knew my swimming career needed to be done. And and then the universe just delivered
Smacked
that
you in the face.
just delivered that with like, okay, and you're done.
Yeah.
With with the car accident and all of that. And my shoulders were already getting raw, because when you're a sprinter, you're moving.
Yeah.
And from a constitution standpoint, being Pitta, it's like everything is intense, it's fast, you're doing the thing. Now, swimming was a great sport to help balance it out because I'm in the water. There's more flow. It was cooling, all of those kinds of things. But, it wasn't, like, hey, I'm just going to go and swim laps. It was, all of the intensity that goes along with that. And so, overuse of the shoulders really started to happen. And then, the car accident was just, okay, now, yeah, you got to stop. And it's really interesting because when that happened, when the actual accident happened, there was kind of this very interesting effect, which was at first it was like, boom, your career in this sport is done. It's done instantaneously, just like that. So there was some sadness around that part of it, but there was also this tremendous amount of relief where I was like, okay, I don't have to make the decision to be the one that says I don't want to do this anymore. Now it's been made for me. So in many ways, I felt like the universe really delivered something that was already intuitively in my heart.
Yeah.
So that you just ignore it. And what that ultimately led to was this very long career in yoga.
Yeah.
Which really helped to rehab so many things. And that felt right and good as a healing modality. And also like all of the other things. I mean, all of that led us to like where we are today. Right here. We sit here doing this podcast through the lens of the Vedic sciences because of that experience. So there aren't any coincidences at all.
Yeah.
And I think though, like, for those of you that can really resonate with a lot of this, whether you've had injuries before or you've had an accident or whatever, in your fitness journey, there is this constant battle between the ego mind and our intuition. And again, it goes back to really understanding several things. The first is understanding who it is that you are as an individual, and that requires a lot of work. We actually have a whole program on how to answer the question, who am I? Which is a very profound one and a very necessary one. It also requires us to understand not only our doshic / constitution type, but also to understand the three psychological states of ourselves as it relates from the Vedic sciences, which are known as the gunas. So we have sattva, rajas, and tamas, and we are constantly dealing with those three states of mental, emotional stability or instability on a regular basis. So sattva is very clear, it's very pure, it's very balanced. It's when we're locked in, when we're absolutely locked in, like, I know that this is the right thing to do. And I'm going to execute on that decision and move forward with doing the right thing regardless. It's very pure and very clear. From a rajasic standpoint, rajas is very active. And the thing with an active mind, as you were talking about in your check-in, with an active mind, you can't really make sound decisions with a very active mind. We have this misnomer in society that multitasking is a thing. It's not a thing. It's not. Your brain cannot handle, your heart cannot handle more than one thought or experience at a time. So when you have an active mind, you are not executing good decisions. That you can't even get to your intuition when your brain is ping-ponging back and forth. You just can't. And then tamas, or the tamasic state, is very dark. It's very inert. We can't see. We can't see the forest from the trees. So we get distracted in the mind because we don't know which way to turn. Things feel very unclear. It's almost the opposite of the sattvic state. It's unclear, it's heavy, there's a little bit of darkness around it, maybe a little bit of doom and gloom that we feel, et cetera. So again, it's not a space that you can make good decisions in. And you can't intuitively tap in because of the clouding, so to speak. So I just wanted to wrap that in because that actually relates to some very direct emotions that we can either go with or against. And as a result, those emotions will drive decisions it is that we make. So when we're in a very pure state, we can see things from sort of an elevated, transcended space where it's like, okay, let me look at this whole thing objectively. This isn't personal. What is the right thing to do in this particular situation? Again, sattvic, it's clear, it's transcended from an emotional standpoint. It's not attached to emotions in one way or another. The rajasic state is very expressive, and because it's a very active state of mind and very expressive, we are kind of throwing things out all over the place. Like, well, I want to do this and I want to do this and maybe I should do this. But we're seeing both sides of the equation and ignoring what the soulful, intuitive sense is telling us. And we're kind of ping-ponging back and forth with, well, it could do this and I could do that and I could do this and I could do that. And then the tamasic state, which can be very dark and very heavy, our emotions get very repressed. And so we feel like we're kind of being buried alive. And so we can't make intuitive decisions. And I express all of these things because this comes down to not just how we move our bodies, but what it is that we put into our mouths. Mm-hmm. What are the thoughts it is that we think, the energy that we exude or we don't exude. If your intuition is clouded either through an active mind, a very rajasic state, or a very heavy clouded state, a tamasic mind, and you can't get into that purity sense, that sattvic balance space, you're not going to make good decisions. And that's why the things that we do every single day in our external lives matter. Mm-hmm. Drinking alcohol, and I know I pound on this a lot, but I'm just using that as
it should be.
Yeah, I'm using it as a very general example because a lot of people can relate to this. Alcohol is going to give you a clouded mind. It's going to be very heavy, and it can also, depending on how you respond to it and your constitution type, it can also create a very accelerated, active mind. So you're not going to make good decisions. We actually have, somebody recently in the circle who was talking about, having a very difficult situation and chose alcohol to be the thing that helps them. That's the ego mind saying, oh, this is going to be helpful. And all it does is make the situation worse. Mm-hmm. So everything it is that we do from a holistic fitness standpoint on the day-to-day has an impact on whether or not your intuition is clear or whether it's clouded. Thoughts on that?
It really does come back to the health that you currently have did not happen overnight. And yeah, alcohol is one that just comes up so often, and having not drank for years now, it just baffles me that people still do it.
I know.
I don't understand. I don't see the use in it. I don't see the usefulness of it.
No.
Like what it does for you. I haven't seen one good thing that it's done for someone.
Yep. Well, it's interesting because a lot of people will say, well, I drink because I want to feel looser. I want to relax. I want to check out, or like I'm going to, smoke weed or do drugs or whatever because I want to, do those things as well. And yes, it does exactly that. And it clouds your intuition, which gets you further away from knowing who it is that you are, so that it becomes exponentially harder to come back to really examining and discovering yourself and moving yourself forward.
Yeah.
So fitness is not just about the weights that you lift or the miles that you hike or run or the amount of reps that you put in on a given weight set or the amount of yoga classes it is that you take.
How many drinks you have is still math.
Yep.
1 + 1 = 2. Beer before liquor, never sicker.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Those are all.
It's math.
Mm-hmm.
Reps and math.
All math.
Reps and math. And each of the constitutions are going to have strengths and weaknesses as it relates to their intuition. When Vata constitutions are in a sattvic state, they are inspired. They are creative. They come up with creative solutions. Just like, when you were clear as a Vata constitution, you were inspired to examine your diet. And it's like, you know what? Veganism is not for me. Mm-hmm. Correct. I was vegan for 17 and a half years. Absolutely reaped the benefits of it because of the natural tendency towards inflammatory response, and it worked. And then when I shifted into a different stage in my life, it was like, I need to abandon, and intuitively I knew. It was like, now you gotta add a little bit of fish into your diet. You have to, so that you can lift heavier weights so that I can prepare for my 80-year-old body, that kind of thing. When Pitta is in a very clear intuitive state, they have very clear perspective, and actually can be very good teachers for other individuals, so that it can help lead them and guide them, into the state of intuitively knowing what's best for this vehicle. And then Kappas, when it's balanced, they are the ultimate in patience and the long haul, and also routine. They're very, very good with sticking to a routine, which ultimately pays off, as you expressed in the beginning part of this podcast. When the Rajasic state comes into play, where the mind is very active, what is that like for Vatas? What is the big word that relates to, for the most part, for you?
The spin.
Yeah, the spin.
The Vata spin.
Yep.
Spin all the stories all at once.
Yep.
And can't do a damn thing about any of them.
Ungrounded, anxious, worried.
All the things that could possibly happen, but probably won't.
Right. Yep.
Does that dog have fleas?
Does that dog have fleas? When Pittas are in an active mind and Rajasic state, they get angry, they can get jealous, they can get aggressive, dominating. You've never seen any of that inside of me.
Nope. I don't know what you're talking about.
And then Kappas in that Rajasic or very active mind state can become very stubborn. Very stubborn, can be very attached. Believe it or not, materialistic. Can get very materialistic, and then conditionally loving, because they tend to be very loyal individuals. But when the mind is very active, it's like, well, I'm only going to, love you or pay attention to you if this, then that kind of situation. So, and again, we don't make good decisions for our health when you're in a high anxiety state, when you're feeling super intense, or angry, or if you're feeling very sentimental or stubborn. You just don't make good decisions. And then from a tamasic standpoint, from that gunic perspective, with the constitutions, tamas, from a vata standpoint, it really just starts spinning out of control. And then it becomes addictive. It can become mentally disturbed, for sure. And also, like, on the deep end, it can become really paranoid. Yeah. So, because it becomes very heavy and dark, and like someone's out to get me, and there's all of these, heavy, horrible thoughts that we can't see clearly through. Does that resonate? I feel like you want to say something. Go ahead.
I'm just, alcohol was still in my brain while you were talking about that, and I was just going back to the excuses, I feel like a lot of people drinking alcohol and the decisions that they make, it's almost like it's a decision that they would make if they didn't drink alcohol. The alcohol is just the excuse that they get to use because they don't.
Ooh.
Like,
I can blame it on this.
yeah.
Well, I made that decision because I was drunk.
Mm-hmm. Like, no, you had that thought in your head anyway. And you chose you chose to drink, and that's what led you to actually acting it out because you knew that you could then use that as an excuse. I'm not saying that happens all the time, but
No.
when you're saying that it clouds your intuition,
Yes.
I'm like, I people do that on purpose. I think they're purposely clouding that intuition because they don't. They want to be able to blame something.
Yep. They want an
acting.
exit strategy.
Yeah, just like, oh, but I'm a different person. I'm like, no, you also want to blame the alcohol for the things that you're doing under the influence.
Oh, I can't stand when people do that. I can't stand when people are like, oh, well, I just turned into this different person as a result. Then stop fucking drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop doing that.
And I'm saying that from personal experience. Like I drank a lot in my 20s, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I look back at those moments, I'm like, yeah, that was a choice. And I knew that I was probably going to do something, not risky behavior, but something stupid.
Something stupid.
Yeah.
Well, whoever does anything smart during that kind of situation?
Not many.
They don't. And you got to wonder how many people who do foolish things are using that as an excuse in very serious circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you get thrown in jail because, you got drunk and then violently assaulted somebody, which, is how, from a tamasic standpoint, when it's out of control with pittas, that's what we would do. Like you can become violent and addictive and hateful and all of those kinds of things. And then kappas, they just become apathetic when they're in that tamasic state. They just give up on everything and just become inert. So, which again clouds the judgment. So we're trying to stay in the sattvic state of mind to make good decisions intuitively. You can't tap into what's in the heart if there are these layers of debris that are on top of you, whether it's in the form of junk food, junk people in your life,
junk energy,
alcohol,
junk
drugs,
media.
That's a great one.
Yeah,
that is a great one.
Because you can move towards a certain algorithm. Like,
yes,
I
you
do.
Can. Yep.
Instagram, it's all like positive, inspirational stuff.
Right, and fitness really.
Yeah,
stuff.
There's a reason for that. Yeah, and cat memes.
Cat memes and dogs.
There's a reason for that.
Yes. So being able to tap into your intuition requires the development of good habits that will keep you in the sattvic, pure state without moving between constant active mind and constant lethargy or lethargic mind. Now, you cannot avoid those things. We're going to have active mind states. We're going to have lethargic mind states, etc. But if you develop good habits that, for the most part, counteract those things, you're going to be able to make way better decisions. And then everything else falls into place. Your diet falls into place. Your exercise falls into place. Your mindfulness falls into place. Your relationships fall into place. And you will attract the similar energies. Mm-hmm. That's what I got. What do you think, girl?
Pretty good segue into try this, not that.
Go ahead, hit us.
Just simply put, your body has an intelligence. Try listening to it. Just try.
Just give it a whirl.
Try listening to your intuition instead of anytime you think of a second option, it's probably the wrong one. The original gut feeling was probably the right intuition. Now, if that's like, I'm going to punch this person, well, you should probably think about that for a second.
Or not.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. But yes.
But in a lot of other cases, like, if we're talking about these little tiny things, we're talking about health. We're talking about what you eat, what you watch, what you take in for social media, people that you hang out with. Like, listen to your intuition. Stop talking about the person that's like, she's super negative, and I just, well, then don't hang out with them. Like,
Word.
that's your intuition telling you that you don't want to be around those people. So why are you?
And that includes family members.
Yeah. I know you know. Yeah.
Yeah. I was listening to Mr. Grover the other day who just said, you know what? Like, sometimes you got to divorce them.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get them out of your life. And I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. The truth bomb, we seem to have two today.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so which one would you like to read, first or second?
I'll do the first one.
Okay, go ahead.
So the first one, it's short but sweet, and really leads into what we've been talking about. Consistency isn't sexy. It's just what separates the elite from the almost. So like we talked about, being consistent, that is crucial. That's what you look at. What was it? The sprinter, Jamaican sprinter.
Usain Bolt.
Mm-hmm. I
trained 6 years to run 9 seconds.
I trained 6 years to run 9 seconds. That's all about consistency.
Right. And he also says, and people give up after they don't see results in a month.
Yeah.
Trained
6 years to run 9 seconds.
9 seconds. Well, it was like when we also did a DECA this weekend, this past weekend. And like the dude who jumped on the bike, it was like, woo! Like 19 seconds, he burned 25 calories on the assault bike. I was like, holy shit.
I'm sure he just jumped on there, never done it before.
Never in his life.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he probably trained a lot.
Second,
and he has really long limbs. He was like 6'7".
Oh God.
So.
He walked in, I was like, how tall is that dude? And it was funny because afterwards, Bart was like, well, when you're 20'10", I'm like, yeah, guy was tall. Big guy, too.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Jumped over that box like it was a Lego.
Oh, literally jumped over that box like it was a Lego.
I don't even know how. I had to.
And pulled that sled like it was a skateboard. I'm like, dude, what the hell?
Well, they both did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that box is like, I don't even know how he's doing that.
I know. I think he just like stepped over, right? Like with one leg.
You have to touch both feet on top of the box.
Right.
So it's like he was sliding the outside foot just off the side of the box and just tapping his inside foot with the box, and they just reverse it.
I don't know. That was a sight.
He didn't stay on it long enough for me to really pay attention. I'm like, oh, he's done. I can't.
And that's 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gonna have to.
I mean, they hit a sub 10, right?
Yeah, it was 9 something.
My God.
Yeah.
That was off the hook. Our final
you only
truth
need to shave
bomb.
off 4 minutes.
I know.
Uh-huh. How easy can that be? How hard could that be?
Well, when you're 20'10", it's simple.
It's not easy. Just get on the assault bike and ride faster. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Last truth bomb of the episode, my friends. Most people don't want to be part of the fucking process. They just want to be part of the outcome. But the process is where you figure out who's worth being a part of it. Oh, I like that.
There's no quick fix.
Long haul.
And so many people just want the outcome.
Yep. Most people do.
I want to look like that.
Right.
Well, that person works pretty fucking hard to look like that. So are you willing to work that hard?
Yep.
I know that's not everybody, but.
Yeah, but it's a lot out there.
Mm-hmm.
I want, arms like you, Praj. I want abs like you, Sat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, 7 years of work.
Yeah, see me in 5 years.
It's right. See me. You come back, and we can help you get there. Too.
Yeah.
So, anything else? Final thoughts?
I just love being on this journey with you.
Oh, thank you. Me too. So good.
It's tons of fun.
Ugh.
I mean, my job every day. It's like I'm working every day of the week, but it's like I'm not working at all.
I know.
Most of the time.
Hey, this is great stuff.
I got to pick up a dumbbell rack today.
Oh,
that's part of my job.
I know. I'm excited.
Yeah.
We got a new dumbbell rack. So, and also we want to thank all of you listeners out there. Like, thank you so much for being on this journey with us. We hope that what you find is in this podcast is educational, inspirational,
Entertaining.
right. Has to be entertaining. And that you do continue to listen and also spread the word. Please do spread the word. Our call to action is we want to hit our first 200 subscribers. We are, as of before this podcast, at 169. So if you can help us with those 31, we would so appreciate that. We really want to continue to grow this podcast and to share really good stuff. And we can't do it without you. So thank you so much for all of that. All right, my friends. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We so appreciate you. Jai Bhagwan, and hopefully you remember what that means from the beginning of the podcast. And may your soul be victorious.
Is life hard? Yeah, it's really fucking hard. And you can also have the life it is that you want. You just got to work for it.